According to legend, the Men in Black are a secretive organization that is said to monitor and suppress reports of UFO sightings and alien encounters. Some say they have strange, otherworldly abilities, such as the power to erase memories or cause hallucinations. Some people believe that the MIB are government agents working to cover up the existence of aliens, while others think they may be aliens themselves, or possibly human-alien hybrids. Join us as we delve into the world of the MIB and try to separate fact from fiction. The concept of the Men in Black first emerged in the late 1940s. At that time, a number of UFO sightings were reported across the United States. Some of these UFO witnesses claim to have been visited by mysterious men. These men dressed in black suits threatened them into silence about their sightings. The men were described as being tall, thin, and pale. They were said to have driven black sedans with government-style license plates. The first encounter happened in 1947 to a man named Harold Dahl, with another reported encounter soon after in 1950. I will explain these encounters in the next segment. In the 1990s, the creation of the Men in Black franchise gave mainstream attention to this conspiracy. And since then, many more people other than ufologists and conspiracy theorists believe these men in black exist. To this day, reports of visits from the MIB still come in. These encounters are so similar in every aspect, it is downright eerie. One of the first reported encounters was in 1947. Harold Dahl witnessed something amazing, and later stated the following.
On June 21, 1947, it was the afternoon, about 2 o'clock. I was patrolling the east bay of Maury Island. I, as captain, was steering my patrol boat close to the shore of a bay on Maury Island. On board were 2 crewmen, my 15-year-old son and his dog. As I looked up from the wheel on my boat, I noticed 6 very large donut-shaped aircraft. A substance resembling lava rocks fell onto the boat, breaking one of my workers' arms and killing the dog. Not long after we docked, a man in an all-black suit approached me. He told me if I talked about the incident he would return, and when he returned I would disappear.
One of the most famous MIB encounters occurred in the 1950s. Late in the summer of 1953, Albert Bender, the founder of the International Flying Saucer Bureau, made a series of discoveries, which led him to believe that he had finally found the truth to the UFO cover-up. He had planned to reveal his findings in the October issue of the Space Review, but before the issue was published, Bender was visited by 3 men, dressed in black. These men had already read the unpublished report and confirmed his findings. He referred to these men as the silencers, and they scared Bender to the point where he did not publish the report. However, Bender did leave a warning with those engaged in saucer work to please be very cautious. He then suspended publishing on his publication and dissolved the IFSB. Bender claimed that the MIB were not of this world, and that they had the ability to change their appearance at will. These men visited him in his house and communicated with him telepathically. He received a metal disc from them and instructions. Almost instantly after he received the metal disc, he felt like he was being transported. These men apparently shared insights into the nature of UFOs and shared the origin of UFOs with Bender. Afterwards, he would become ill and didn't eat for 3 days. Albert Bender would never report on UFOs again, and silently removed himself from the ufology world completely. The next encounter is from a more recognizable face, and his story is very intriguing.
The last show we did, I had both Bassett, who has the UFO time clock, and then Greer. Both Bassett and Greer were there. They were my two guests for the day. Well, the show was canceled that afternoon. And I was outside, before I knew it was canceled, in between the interviews. And I was outside, and Britney Spears called me because she wanted me to appear on Saturday Night Live with her. And so I was outside having a cigarette, the phone rang. Oh, Brittany, how you doing? Oh, sure, of course I will. I turned away like this. I turned back, and there was a black Ford across the road, a black Ford sedan. And I was trying to look at the plate, and the plate seemed kind of like fuzzy, and I was, definitely a police car. And two guys were there, and a big, tall guy got out of the back seat, and he stood in the street on 42nd Street it was. We were at 42nd Street and 8th Avenue, and he looked right at me. And literally, I was on the phone. Hey, oh, sure, of course I'd love for the show. Saw the Ford, went back like this, turned back like a half second later, and it was gone. And that car did not go past me. It did not make a U-turn, because I would have seen 42nd Street. I would have seen that thing take a U-turn and go away. That car vanished. That car was a cloaked vehicle of some type. And whether this was like a warning to me, because the guy got out of the back seat, gave me a real dirty look. That car vanished. I know what I saw. And it was just this fast. It was, oh, hi, Brittany, sure. Oh, of course, I'd love to. Guy gives me a dirty look. Oh, well, sure. Car gone. That's what happened. And then 2 hours later, we were told we were not to continue taping, and the show was canceled, and none of them would air. I don't know. I don't know. Was that an MIB experience? Black helicopters, military abductions that happen. Sometimes people are taken and they talk about then being visited by, military personnel and debriefed about their abduction. Was it a technology associated with some of these beings that are visiting that wanted to warn me off, or that wanted to give me verification that I was on the right track? I don't know. But I do know I did turn back a second later, and it takes so long for an automobile accelerating from 0 to 40 miles an hour to reach the corner of 8th Avenue and 42nd Street going past me, and then pulling a U-turn and going out towards Times Square. I would have seen that car. And I looked around. I was looking for that thing. It was gone. So, I don't know. The tapes exist. I have them. We're going to try to repackage them. We might put them out on DVD.
This next encounter is a controversial one, and I will tell you, it brought me down a very long and mysterious rabbit hole. In June of 2018, an employee of an unnamed law firm in Anchorage, Alaska, recorded this clip.
The woman that you see here, her name is Nicole, and she is the front office secretary. And this is what happened. This is how she disappeared. Again, she disappeared. We have not heard from her since yesterday.
After a short conversation, Nicole points towards the outside of the building, most likely telling the man to leave. Nicole pulls a gun from the desk. The man then gestures with his hand, and Nicole seems to fall into a trance. He appears to point towards her purse, where she retrieves a camera. Still in a trance, Nicole makes her way to the outside of the desk. She then exits the building with the man, and does not show up for work the next day. After watching this clip, I began my extensive research. I realized that no one in Anchorage, Alaska by the name of Nicole had been reported missing during this time. As I scoured around looking for evidence, it became quite clear there really is none. This story is either a very well acted out film project or a real encounter with the MIB. After reading through many articles and forums, it seems there is a mystery here. I will leave it up to you to decide if it's real or not. So what do you think? Are these stories all well-concocted tales? With so many documented cases of encounters with these beings, it's hard to believe everyone is telling lies. Was Albert Bender actually forced to leave the UFO world? Or possibly he was overwhelmed with his work and wanted to disband it with a bang? Why would a man like Dan Aykroyd make up a tale like this? Wouldn't you think he would have more to lose than to gain by going public with this story? Is Nicole just a fabrication of a film production, or did she really vanish from existence? All in all, these stories are fascinating, and the evidence that the men in black are real is overwhelming. Have you ever had an encounter with the men in black, or know of someone that has? We would love to hear about it on our upcoming podcast or in the comments. If you would like to tell your story on our podcast, please email us or leave a comment below. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe for more content just like this. Good night, and keep your eyes in the sky.